Well, I'm absolutely thrilled that MAC is looking at starting a school because, a couple of years ago when, I started thinking, okay, at some point we'll be making the transition from services here at MAC to a regular school setting. I was terrified. I just thought, what's going to happen when we put him in a regular school setting or even in a special education classroom for part of the day? And the staff there don't understand ABA and they don't have that tool to really access Mark's potential. What's going to happen to him?
Autistic kids learn. They just learn differently. They learn outside the box that the school puts, the school puts typical kids in this box. This is how they learn. This is how 90% of the children learn.
We relocated from Grand Forks from up north because there was really no services there, and pretty much uprooted the whole family to get out here.
The school where we were at, they were going to put Max in a Spanish immersion program. I'm not sure that's appropriate, but it was the only place they had for Max.
That's the only place they had for him.
It's really hard to get your point across when they try to understand what Hannah really needs. And with that, she only get 30 minutes a day pulling out with some special ed teacher, and the way that they teach is so general, it's for everybody, so Hannah doesn't really get the help that she needs.
The special ed program at public school, the personnel there, the staff, they don't have the expertise in this field compared to MAC school or MAC programs.
I see when he walks down the hall, kids stare at him. He hand flaps and does things, and they don't really have a school for these kids. He can't be on a team, he can't play basketball. He's not a part of the school. He's in a little corner of a school and gets special ed services, but isn't acknowledged by any of the mainstream kids. I'm just not a fan of public school, but you don't really have anywhere else to put them because private school, in which my other two children go to, they don't have the funding or the means or anything for these kids, so it's pretty tough.
Well, the challenge we find is that society is still catching up with how to deal with this epidemic of autism. And in the last 10 years in Minnesota, there has been an acceptance of the fact that early intervention is very critical in giving these autistic young people an opportunity. The problem is that once they reach around age 10, there seems to be a perception that these kids are done and they've reached their fullest potential, which is so far from the truth. Unfortunately, there are no real services other than these overcrowded and underfunded special education programs in the school. And there's wonderful people in our special ed programs, but they just don't have the resources or the knowledge to be able to handle this explosion of autistic kids.
Yet, before the MAC school can become a reality, considerable investments must be made. If working with children with autism teaches anything, it's the power of human achievement. Compared to what students overcome on a daily basis, funding of the new MAC school is well within reach, but help is needed. As a nonprofit organization, we reinvest our revenues into developing further treatment programs serving families and children. We have built a business model that has successfully allowed Autism Opportunities Foundation to grow into the largest provider of specialized services in Minnesota. Although we have funding in place to cover the cost of the therapeutic and educational services, our current funding does not provide excess resources necessary to develop the MAC school programming and infrastructure.
Autism is a mental health disorder. So why they would treat somebody, to just quit smoking, but not treating somebody who's having autism? I just don't get it.
I think the folks at the Autism Center are working very hard to get all the funds they could, but they need all kind of help.
I guess we're a team, her and I, and we take every challenge on together. We would never leave this state. Because I think I'd love to go south or something, but not without this place. This place is what keeps us here, and it's so good, so important for our daughter's future.
Without MAC and their services, I don't think we could do it.
just with having her here for the hours that she's here, she's now requesting. She knows that I'm mommy and then will call for me, which is, she's never done that before. She'll be upstairs in her room and she'll be, Mommy, help! And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm coming, you know, because now she never did that before. I mean, they have parent support groups here. Where do you go and find that, Mac? I mean, that they're here. This is where parents come together and say, hey, yeah, we have CareCap do this, or you know what we did, we have a PCA that helps us out. You know, PCA, what's that? You know, parents don't know what that is.
Without therapy, I feel like you know, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of things that we can today. We, you know, go on vacations and we're able to go on family outings and, you know, school events and stuff like that.
Well, when he was littler, I've seen him need help with like cutting his pancakes, but he still asks for help sometimes, but it gets better every day. Sometimes he'll ask me and I say, try 3 times before you ask me. And he can cut it. Sometimes he cuts his pancakes.
It surprises you, you can do a lot more.
Yeah.
They are so deeply vested in the success in what they're doing that I can't imagine walking away from it. And we're just so extremely lucky to have a spot here.
Because of the life-changing therapy and services that the Autism Center provides, you know, kids like my son are able to have a really bright and exciting future when before all there was despair. That, you know, the dreams that you had for your son or daughter were just wiped away with that diagnosis of autism. So the Minnesota Autism Center has changed my life and is changing the life of hundreds of kids across the state.
And yet, this school is only the beginning. We believe a society that cares for its children, all children, is really building its own future. Children with autism deserve rich and rewarding lives, and it's all within reach. The only thing missing is your support.